You have entered the Vault of Shadows. I am the keeper of the vault, Dave. That's right, kids. Do something a little different here. We're going to talk about horror news, horror movie news, in two cases, and then one is literature. And I'm putting this news together in this way: potentially just terrible news, right? That we hope isn't going to happen, and then less terrible, potentially, awful news that we also hope isn't going to happen, and then great news. We're going to end strong and positive because we believe in positivity here in the Vault of Shadows. We really do. So let's talk about the first bit here. Jason Blum is yet again, he's telling anybody who will listen, which is unfortunately more people than one person, that he wants Freddy and Jason. He, not together in a movie necessarily, but he wants to do films in those franchises. And I'm going to just give my opinion on this, the franchises, very briefly. We know that the rights holders fought for many, many years, over 15 years. Has it been that long? I think since the reboot of Friday the 13th. They finally got it together. Then they launched the Jason universe. They got Greg Nicotero, a legend in horror special effects, to design a mask. But then they told him what they wanted and didn't want, and it looks like crap as a result. And this is the same guy that the video game, Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game, said, do whatever you want. You're Greg Nicotero. And then that mask was amazing. I reviewed it on the channel last season. But no, they told him, hey, it has to have this and not this and change that. And it has like 13 vent holes. Ooh, wow, that's deep. Man, that's so cool that you came up with that idea. I think it looks terrible. I didn't watch the beer commercial that is supposed to be a Jason short film. I refuse. I'll just keep watching stuff like Never Hike Alone. All of that will be better than anything Hollywood is now going to try to come out with. And that brings us to Jason Blum. Look, think about it. Do you really want the guy that got David Gordon Green and did those Halloween movies, and the same guy who I think is, because I've seen episodes of Vice Principals that I didn't know until after were directed by him. I wouldn't have watched them if I had known he had directed. They're hilarious. I think he's a great comedic director. He has no business being around horror, as was evidenced with The Exorcist. Do we want that guy? Do we want, because Jason Blum was behind those, do we really want to have this cat behind Jason and Freddy? I don't think so. We'll see what happens, because it's possible that the rights holders of Jason Inc., or Horror Inc., they're called, complicated. No one cares enough for me to get into it. But if you do, comment, and I'll do a video on it. The whole shebang there. Nobody really, I think, wants to see Jason Blum do any of this. I mean, think about just the not only the ones I mentioned. How about what they did to Black Christmas? Just go watch the original Bob Clark classic. And I heard the remake's okay. There's some movies I don't care. Don't even bother with the remake. Like anything by George Romero, unless Tom Savini does it. By the way, that's some news. The Tom Savini remake of Night of the Living Dead is out on 4K Blu-ray this last month, actually. And I mentioned that if you're interested in adding that to the collection. I don't have a 4K player anymore. I threw it out of the window when I was topside because it wasn't working. And so now I just have Blu-ray. And this thing, only the new cut, which is adding scenes back in, closer to what he intended, Tom Savini, that is only available on the 4K disc. So I haven't bought it. I'll buy it eventually. And then I guess just read about it, because I will be able to watch it. But anyway, but we don't want these folks. I was saying I don't want, some movies should not be remade, and I think that you don't remake Black Christmas, please. So anyway, we don't want Jason Blum. Long story short, his day is done. He had some really good. I mean, Paranormal Activity. I think that's a great film. And I don't know what just happened here, kids. Some kind of lighting issue. Did you notice that here in the vault? I don't know what happened there. Oh, we're back up here. The generators kicked in. We don't want him. It's not the Jason Blum that did Paranormal Activity that produced that. It's not the Jason Blum from Oculus, Mike Flanagan. He's long ago lost, any of that good, I think, influence. And as far as A Nightmare on Elm Street goes, look, we don't really want this without Robert Englund, do we? Like, I would rather see fan versions in terms of Jason. Like, the Never Hike Alone is excellent. Go watch those if you haven't. I'm fine. I would rather that because they love the character. They get that all right. They've got Tommy back. I mean, it's great. And in terms of A Nightmare on Elm Street, you're not going to ever replace Robert Englund either. Now, he has said recently, if anybody does continue it, they should do something new and fresh with Freddy. And I'm thinking, or create something entirely new. That's what I want, kids. I want Jason and Freddy to rest. I don't think Michael should have ever gotten any sequels. I'm a purist there. I believe that John Carpenter's Halloween is, in fact, the immortal classic, and you don't need a sequel to it. And none of the sequels are worth, in my opinion, anything, really, except for some really good music, for some of them, by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. And, Halloween 3, of course, is great, but it's not a sequel. So that's where I stand on that. But let these characters rest. Give us new characters. You have Art the Clown, who's caught on in a big way. We've got, I loved Hatchet, Victor Crowley. I don't know why those aren't made more frequently, those movies. Yet we see all this Blumhouse stuff comes out, but we can't get another Hatchet movie. And then, we have now The Grabber, who's kind of doing a Freddy thing with the dreams. And if you saw the first Black Phone, there's a supernatural element, so it's not that far of a reach. So I'm looking forward to that. I like the first one. Need to rewatch it, but the second one I think comes out next week. We don't want Jason Blum, at least in my opinion, keep him away from all of that, please. And he's saying that he hopes he will get a shot at them, and I just hope that he doesn't. And I certainly wouldn't watch them if he does. Let's talk about the next, create something new. And now here's more opposite of creating something new. Ready for this? Sigourney Weaver said over the weekend, it was New York City Comic-Con weekend for those people that care, which is not that many people anymore. And I don't even think they talked about comic books at the con, because people don't know what that is anymore either. She has said that Walter Hill, who wrote the original Alien, has written about 50 pages about where Ripley is now. There are discussions with Disney, and she never specified, is this the clone from that horrible Alien Resurrection? Is this doing with the Neil Blomkamp? If you didn't know, Neil Blomkamp he pitched a movie to 20th Century Fox before Disney bought them, which would have seen a kind of a Halloween Superman Returns approach skip the crappy sequels, and let's go ahead and just say that this takes place 40 years after Aliens. And here's Newt, here's Ripley, here's Hicks. They're alive, they're older. That would have been a great movie. It got stopped because Ridley Scott was like, no, I want to make, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to see that. And so he had the veto power. And now Disney owns it, and Disney could do it, but I don't think Neil Blomkamp has enough cred these days with the studios to do it. That then brings us to what this could be, which is it could skip the other sequels, and Ripley never died, but the idea sounds pretty terrible to me. And the idea is this: all that Sigourney Weaver said is it's dealing with how people treat members of society who do great things for humanity, but then silence them. And so she's apparently been incarcerated. And I'm just thinking, so it's Ripley in jail? And it's of course a message about something, because it's Disney doing this. So who wants this? Do something new. And that doesn't mean Romulus, and it doesn't mean even Alien Earth. Do something new. Let those things rest. Create new monsters, create new characters, new stories. But that won't happen probably anytime soon, kids, not to be too negative, because the studios don't see any profit in it. But we have hope in independent film and fan productions, and they'll keep doing the real work. Finally, the great news. There will be a 3-hour, which I think is still not long enough, but I can't wait, 3-hour Edgar Allan Poe brand new documentary releasing on PBS October 25th of this year, in just a few weeks. And it will have 5 leading Poe scholars, Poe locations, 13 I think they said will be visited, key Poe locations from his life. And then, direct quote here, evocative music. And I'm hoping that, I don't know what it's evoking, didn't specify, but it's apparently a big part of this documentary, the music. So I can't wait. I love Edgar Allan Poe. He's my favorite American author, and I look forward to anything about him. I'm hoping that it will be balanced. I'm hoping it's not going to be some kind of crazy, let's work in a modern message about Poe instead of just talking about new discoveries or his writing, or really teaching people about him and clarifying that he is not a psycho, was not a psycho or a drug addict or an alcoholic, that he was a complex man. He was a very tragic life, and yet he was a brilliant genius. That's what the documentary should do. But I'm looking forward to that. It's long past time for a new Poe documentary. There you go, kids. Some horror news for you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay spooky.